What's up, everyone? Corey back again in the new year with a new review. This time I'm taking a look at the new game Wavetale. Now, this is a 3D action platformer adventure type game. I'm going to describe it as. You are playing this girl, Sigrid, however you want to say her name. And in this post kind of apocalyptic world, the sea has risen and there are islands everywhere now that water has entered the picture. The story of this game is not my favorite. It's predictable. The writing is okay at times, heartwarming at times, but ultimately the story is not what drew me to this game. That would be the visuals and the gameplay that I saw before playing. As you can see, this game has a unique art style, and I can safely say that that art style exists throughout 98% of the game. There are a couple of cutscenes that shy away from it and use more of a 2D comic book-esque visual style, but most of the time you're going to be playing this game, actually all the time that you're actually playing the game, this is what you're looking at. And I'm here for it. I love it. The only thing that I ever really noticed about it was that the facial animations of some of the characters looked a little off at times. Very minimal, very non-impactful in any way, but it was noticeable by me in a couple of cutscenes. To go along with the beauty of the visuals of the game, there are the voice acting. I always like to listen in on that, and I really enjoyed the voice acting in this game. A lot of bigger games just don't do voice acting, or it's really meh. I thought this one was really well done. All the characters sounded unique and good, and I just enjoyed it. So the voice acting gets a thumbs up for me. But let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is where you're going to be getting your money's worth out of the game, if you ask me. It's a lot of fetch quest, a lot of go and get this spark. That's what you're doing throughout the game. You're kind of collecting sparks to fill up these tanks in order to get power to places and things like that. And you're going to be going and getting the sparks and other things throughout your journey. When you're doing that, there are a couple things to take into effect. Let's talk about the combat first. There is some light combat in this game. You're going to be fighting these fog monsters and these blobs of fog you're going to be clearing out just by swinging your net around and getting rid of them. The combat is very minimal. It's almost unnecessary throughout the entire game. There are very few points where you actually need to do the combat, and that consists of going to the enemy, whacking X a couple of times, and your job is done. You could avoid the combat in most of the general exploration parts of it, and it would not affect you in any way. The exploring part is the pieces of the game that I enjoyed the most. Again, this is a 3D kind of platforming game where you're going to be scaling vertical landscapes and really kind of an open world-ish, where you can get to places in a variety of ways. You have a double jump, you have a hover ability. A lot of the game takes place in the water, and so you actually ride on top of the water, kind of like surfing or skateboarding in a way. And really, that is my absolute favorite part of the game, is when you get to go and you can make these nice lines in the water and go from surfing to jumping and connecting to something that progresses your exploration a little further. You can make some really cool looking moves, kind of like the old Tony Hawk days when you could really string those combos in a line and feel really good about it. There are times where that exists here. However, what's the best about the game is also one of the low points as well, in the terms of this water ocean area that you are navigating sometimes is long and boring. And I say that as there are stretches of the game where you have to get to the next point to progress, and there is nothing but water in the way, and so there's only so much ad-libbing you can do on that water. I was trying to jump and do turns and twists and try to make it as exciting as I could, but that did not last for very long, and you're going to be doing this water exploration through a lot of the game. The game is about 6 hours long is how much it took me. However, there are a couple of side quests that I did not complete. They are completely optional. You don't have to do them. You do get like currencies in the game where you could buy stuff from a store. However, that store is completely optional. It is only for cosmetic purposes. Again, you don't have to do any of that. Just to get through the story though, it's probably going to take you at least 6 hours or so, give or take. So just to recap, I think the visual styles of the game is really good. I like the voice acting and I like the exploration of the game. The low points for me would definitely be the combat and the sprawling out of just nothingness that you have to endure to get from point A to point B. I think that could be reined in a little bit, but it's not a long game, so it doesn't linger too long, if that makes sense. But that will do it for me for this game, for this review. Be sure to check out xboxtavern.com if you're not already there to get my score on the game, as well as my conclusion, and to check out all of our other reviews. That'll do it for this one. I will catch you in the next video. See ya.